Have you ever thought about being happy and being hungry at the same time? Jesus talks about this when he addresses the ideas in the Beatitudes of what it takes to be happy or truly blessed by God. He says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 6, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. What a great truth this is for us to understand what it means to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's a response to an inner desire of our hearts, a hunger, a longing to have something richer and fuller in our lives. This idea of hunger and thirst. And certainly there were many people in Jesus' day who hungered physically, and we have poverty around us today as well. And there are people who are hungry and need food, and Jesus fed the hungry physical food, but he so often accompanied that feeding with the feeding of the soul, because the soul is hungry. Our souls are empty, hungry, thirsty for the things of God. We often try to fill those with the wrong things, of course. And when we do that, when we try to fill them with our own pleasures or our own activities, we find ourselves coming up at the end of the day hungry still, thirsty still, wanting something for more, craving something that's really wonderful. And Jesus says, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, that is to say, that's what's going to actually satisfy us, is having a right relationship with God. Righteousness means to be rightly aligned with God, to be in step with Him, to have Him as the center point of our lives. And Jesus says there's a blessing, there's a happiness, a joy that comes in knowing that we have the righteousness of God. Now, how do we come by that righteousness? How do we establish that? Is it by our own efforts, by living a moral life? Well, of course it isn't, because we fail over and over again, and we end up finding ourselves just frustrated in that effort. So we need to have a righteousness that's a gift to us, that's granted to us, that's planted in our hearts through faith in Jesus Christ. And this is the kind of righteousness the Bible talks about, that Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for us, received our sins, and in their place, He gives us His righteousness. We receive that gift by faith. And when we do, Jesus says, they will be filled. So when you've received Jesus Christ, He's given you righteousness, He's given you a fullness of life, and that really does equate into a happy or blessed life. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Thank you for taking time to join me for this pastoral visit.